You want to start with a nice thin brush because we're going to do some teardrops. Get a little bit of water on it. Now when you get paint on it, just twist the brush as you drag it through the paint. That way you'll keep your point. You want to keep thickening up the paint until it's kind of creamy, because if it's too watery it'll just run off the kid's face. So keep twisting it till you got it exactly how you want it. Nice point on the end there. And you're pretty much just going to drag it and press it. Start with a fine point and just press it against the skin. You can do this with almost any brush, but one with a nice point is really nice. Right, if you need a bit more water, just dab it in there. Get a bit of water off by pressing it against the towel. So if you get too much water, you're going to make a mess of your paint. Point and press. And it doesn't matter if they're a little bit dodgy. If you have them all facing in towards the same point, they look alright. Alright, for a fine line, same thing, pointy brush, twist it in your paint. And keep going until you've got enough paint on your brush. And you want it to be nice thick paint. Nice point there. And you're going to just finely touch the skin and drag it across the skin. You don't want to press hard at all because you're only using the very tip of the brush. You want to be confident in your strokes too. You can do all sorts of shapes with the very point of the brush once you get the handle on how to hold it to get that fine line and the thickness of your paint. Rinse your brush out carefully because that's when your bristles get damaged the most. And then if you twist your brush as you dry it on the towel, you'll get that point again. Right, starbursts. Again, twist your brush in the paint, get the nice point, and you're just going to flick it across the skin. This one's really hard to do while I'm filming, but it's just those fine lines, and you just make a little star. And these ones are, great addition to all sorts of like butterflies and princesses and all sorts of face paints. Simple yet effective. Now this fat brush is one of my favourites because you can get really nice lines with that if you can't use a fine brush for your lines. Again, you've got to be careful putting the paint on there because you want to keep that flat edge. It's handy to push it against the towel to get some water off and to get it nice and flat. And you just press it onto the skin. You can use the tip of the brush to do your starburst, but I've never been able to grasp that, as you can see. Now, eyes. Use the end of your brush, dab it in the paint, press it onto the skin. Now, for your pupils, push another colour right into the centre, and you've got one chance to get it right. One stroke cakes. Spray them, and then brush them. You only need one spray. That's probably too much water. It's going to go on really faint if there's too much water. See, like that. But basically you can make a rainbow or a colourful design really quickly with one stroke. You can also make really cool flowers, two-tone flowers, by running your brush along the two colours, making sure you get both the colours on the brush, and then you just press it onto the skin. In your centre, just do your dab on again, and a few little dots around the outside. Always do your dots in threes. Now another way to do the two-tone flower is by putting the colour on your brush and then brushing the end of the colour off, like tap it off, and then dip it in one of your liquid Duravan paints. So you've then got your two colours on your brush, and then again press it on. Not a great example, but it takes a lot of practice. Now, sponging on colour. Just dip your sponge in your water and squeeze it out. Now you're going to brush the paint onto the sponge just like that, but you have to go a few times over, so that's probably too much paint, but this is just a rough example of my beautiful model here. Now this is going to be a frozen snowflake. Sponge on your colour, blend in the edges if it's a bit dodgy. This is a really bad example because I'm just doing it quickly, but you've got to learn to do it quickly because some kids are impatient. Now for your snowflake, get your water on your brush, twist your brush into the paint, and flick your snowflake on as quickly as you can. There's not enough water on my brush, that's why the paint's a bit clumpy. My brush is also kind of split. This is how you do a quick snowflake. Now I'm using Duravan paint for the snowflake this time around, and you can see how it goes on quite a bit smoother because it's already liquid. You do your starbursts around the outside just to add a little bit of an effect there. Fill in the gaps. And then always add a few dots because the dots look great, especially in threes. Or you can do a cool curly design with your dots. Whatever you want to do, just adds a nice little effect. And glitter. Some glitter always makes your face paint look amazing, so just dab it on there. Just be really gentle because you don't want to smudge your paints. And then liquid bling, my favourite, and just do a little dot in the middle, dots around the outside. It's good to use a blue or another colour. Just dot it all around. Ta-da!